Ringo is tight. That's one of his strengths. The other is the thing that had been called playing for the song. No one beats Ringo when it comes to that game. Ringo is not just like Peter. Okay, it's a fast song, so I played fast this time. Okay, it's a slow song, so I played slow this time. Ringo is so listening to what kind of song is this? What does it need? What does it take? What should I do? What is my role here? And what is the possible best I can do for this song? And then he does it, and he does a marvelous job. Uh, and that is actually what he is very acknowledged for, also by very, very skilled drummers. A guy like Phil Collins had talked very highly of Ringo, and that is because of this playing for the song. And I actually think that has been an inspiration for many drummers, even if they doing it in another way. And Phil Collins is a much more complicated player. But if you're thinking about, let's say, Coming in the Air Tonight, that place in the song we all have heard so many times, where the drums comes in and this blah, 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 blah. But it's such a good effect at that point, because the song has been really slow and not much have happened, and it was sort of ooh, and then suddenly, and it's so dramatic. But then think about in A Day in the Life. Well, so the news today about and yeah, it's simpler than the thing Phil is doing on In the Air Tonight, but it's kind of the same idea. It's doing something unique and special for that particular song, and it's not like, okay, it's the thing I always do, and I did it the last 10 songs we play, and I'm gonna do it the next 10 songs we are gonna play. No, this is something meant for this particular song and only that song. And Ringo is a master of that. And sorry, all you fans of Pete, and it kind of hurts me to do these things here, because I love those early recordings, the Sheridan sessions and the Decca session. I really love that stuff, but from a technical point of view, it is not very good. But it is that thing I said in the beginning of the video about, pure from the heart thing, that in lack of a better word, innocence, and just playing along, having a good time, and it's that I love about it. And well, it is catchy music. Of course it is. Even though not very well played, it's still really catchy, and it takes you. It kind of takes you, and you say, yeah, let's have a great time here. And so it really hurts me to do these things, but even when the Decca session was first released, that release was called The Complete Silver Beatles. I think it came in 82, I think it was. Don't hang me up on it, but I think it was in 82 it came out. And I went out and bought it, and I thought I was really played it a lot and was crazy about it, and especially Three Cool Cats, and Besame Mucho. I have heard Besame Mucho before because I had heard some broadcast in the radio and about the Beatles and the story, and there it was, and I have thought, oh man, this is great, and when when that Decca session was released as the Complete Silver Beatles, a very wrong title, but that's another story. Uh, I went and bought it because there's Besame Mucho. Oh yes, and I have longed for that song so long, and yes, 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 and there were other great things. I mean, we mentioned Three Cool Cats and many other fine things, but even back then, till there was you, I was there's something wrong here. Something doesn't work. Not really work. There's something here. It's not really working. And well, let's try to hear a bit of it and try to pay attention to the drums and the rest of the music. And it's not about as much about tempo. It's more about the feel and the kind of song and what is suited for what. And well, listen and well, think what you want and have your own opinion on things, but here it is. Here what I mean that is like it's not like so much a question of the tempo, but the feel of the song, that Pete's kind of playing really doesn't suit that song. And that is this souffle thing again. Um Suddenly it doesn't fit. It's fine for a rock and roll song, but this is not exactly a rock and roll song. This is kind of a Latin rhythm. So there were bells and a doom. It should be something do do doom, and not there were bells on a hill. It doesn't really work. You want something like there were bells on a hill, something like that. Well, I'm not a drummer, so I'm sure Pete could do a better job on it than I can, but he's keeping to his usual thing, and that doesn't really work here. Uh, let's hear some short snippets of some of the other songs from that session, and then we can talk a bit about it. Well, to say it short and not talk a whole lot about it, sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. And I guess it's about half and half. Half of the songs, well, it kind of works okay, and in the other half, there's like something. It's not. There's something that doesn't really work. So that's how it is. How it's happening again. This video has turned much longer than I had planned, and I'm sitting and thinking, oh, no one's gonna watch a video that long, and maybe some will know, maybe not as much as if it has been shorter, but I think I'm gonna cut it here, and then I gonna make several episodes uh, about the Pete Best controversy. And but to sum up in short what I have talked about in this episode, there were some limitations to Pete Best's playing, and he was not really suited for the things that were about to come. Beatles were in a period of change and were changing into something else, and it's like Pete was not really changing with the other guys. He was sticking to his thing and doing what he has done all the time, and now the other guys were moving in a different direction, and it was like, okay. And I told you about that video with the analyze of the Pete Best version of Love Me Do. I commented on that, and he answered, so we had, you can say, a little conversation about the thing. And in his comment, he wrote something like he was moving in the wrong direction, and then kind of said, oh, well, maybe not, but just the only direction he could, uh, kind of correcting himself. But, well, you can say Pete was what that guy in the other video called just, it was Beatles, it was not the Fab Four, or was what I, meaning the same thing in that thing I wrote. I got the papers here, and I have sit and looked at a bit about it to recall what did I wrote back then. Had this about the silver Beatles and the gold Beatles. Call it what you want, that doesn't matter, but you can say, okay, here comes the 60s, and the music is going to change completely, and there will be periods where it's not about if you had not followed up and been up to date the last year or two. It's like if you haven't really followed what has happened 1 month, you are completely out of the game and lost. Things were changing so fast that if you really go into studying releases of albums, records, what you may call it, and are looking at the exact releasing dates, you really say, no, that's impossible, and it's not like your brain is collapsing and say, no, that can't be possible, because things were changing so enormously fast. Pete was in another band later on, but they were still doing, sort of basic rock and roll. And, that was not the thing Beatles were doing. Beatles were a part of the front line of all those changes. And I'm not sure I agree that Pete was moving in a wrong direction, because I think, well, if that was his thing, if he really loves basic rock and roll, well, isn't it okay to stick to the thing you love? do you have to change to something if it's not your thing, and if you not really like it? Isn't it okay to say, well, this is my kind of music and I love this stuff and I'm sticking to it? I think that is okay, but that is just exactly what not made him the right man for the things that was about to happen in the Beatles the next years, because they were moving away from that. But there are so many other aspects in this and around this, so I guess I need to do several episodes concerning the Pete Best controversy, and even this part of it, primarily concerning Pete Best's playing and was it good, was it bad? I haven't came through half of what I would like to say about that. There is so much more to say, and but it must be in another episode, because this have already been running for much too long, and I'm really afraid that no one's gonna watch it because they are thinking, oh, that's way too long. I haven't time for that, and I don't want to see that, and they not even begin to see it because they can see on YouTube, oh, it's running for over an hour. Don't. Fuck you, Carl. Go to hell with all your silly talk on awful English. I don't want to listen to that. And I kind of understand you. I would probably feel the same way if there was I saw a video about a subject I might be interested in, but I saw it was very long, and even if I then pushed the button into it and it began, and there was some Japanese guy sitting, hello to you and welcome to my channel, I will think, oh God, do I have to listen to this for more than an hour? And I will probably stop there. So I understand you, but if anyone actually saw this whole thing and came to the end, I'm so grateful to you and thank you, and you are heroes. You are really heroes, I think, watching all this nonsense. But I will not keep it running any longer. It's far too long already, so I must make several episodes about the Pete Best controversy.